Now, let's learn the specific meditation methods. Multiplicity. Imagine someone who stirs in you an intense attachment, and consider them now present vividly before you. Separate this person into 5 aggregates, and begin by investigating their physical body. Imagine that the person to whom you feel attached appears before you. Divide him or her into 5 aggregates of form, feeling, perception, mental formations, and consciousness. Observe every detail of their body vividly and distinctly. How can we conduct this observation? Marriage offers the best opportunity to see everything clearly. If you wish to cultivate renunciation and multiplicity, meditate on those around you in daily life, and you will swiftly gain insight into multiplicity. By practicing in this way, you embark on the path of spiritual transformation. In the past, when such a person appeared, the force of your ignorance would instantly make them seem lovely and pure without any mental effort, naturally drawing your mind towards them. This is what we call a mistaken mental mode. You will instinctively respond with mistaken attitudes without any conscious effort. The conceptual mind operates as fast as lightning. When a mistaken attitude arises, it instantly traps the mind in unwholesome thoughts, making it hard to break free. To treat this illness, we should directly examine the nature of the object rather than avoiding or retreating from it. Therefore, the Buddha's followers should have the courage to face and observe reality as it truly is. The more we are attached to someone, the more carefully we should examine them. Recognize that there is nothing desirable in their 5 aggregates and maintain this mindfulness. Then the desire will naturally fade. The following is the observation. Peel away the surface and see the true nature of the person you cling to. For example, a vase may appear beautiful on the outside, but when you shine a flashlight inside, you might find it is filled with maggots and feces. Breaking the vase would reveal the truth more clearly, but most people are reluctant to do so. Consider all its impure substances of flesh, blood, bones, marrow, fat, internal organs, sense organs and limbs, feces, urine, bacteria, hair, nails, and so on. Mentally dissect the being you desire with your 6th consciousness, starting from the right eye socket. First, use Manjushri's sword to cut the skin on the right side and tear it off. Blood gushes out, staining their face and body red. Tear away their skin to reveal blood and flesh. Gradually remove the flesh, exposing the neck bone, collarbone, sternum, arm bones, pelvic bone, leg bones, and foot bones. A pale skeleton appears. Crack open the skull to let brain matter flow out. Shatter the sternum to expose the internal organs. Stomach acid, phlegm, bile, feces, urine, parasites, and more release a foul stench into the air. Hair, nails, and other impurities scatter across the ground. Sort these unclean substances into categories. Observe each pile of impure substances. This is a meditation practice. Those who perform dissections or work at sky burial sites witness this reality daily, and the experience can be quite transformative. Moreover, surgeons can see such images regularly. When patients are anesthetized and lying on the operating table, they are like vulnerable animals. I've heard that during surgery, patients are naked, and with a single incision, their belly is opened, exposing the internal organs. If there is an issue with the intestines, such as colon cancer, the surgeon may cut the intestine and feces will flow out. Then they will remove the affected section and reconnect the remaining part. They can see these impure substances clearly. I wonder how they can eat their meals afterward without feeling disgusted. Surgeons may not have meditated on impurity in a dharma context. Therefore, even if you see such things without the guidance of the dharma, you lack wisdom, and you may become numb to it. Even though you look at them, you won't gain any insight. Regarding the components of the earth and other elements, if they can be divided further, mentally dissect them down to the tiniest particle. The earth and other elements refer to the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, wind, and space. Solid substances such as bones, flesh, tendons, and veins belong to the earth element. Moist substances like saliva, urine, and gastric juice belong to the water element. Breath and pulsation belong to the wind element. Cavities and orifices such as nostrils, oral cavity, and intestinal tract belong to the space element. The skin, muscles, and organs are actually aggregates of the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space, rather than singular, inherently existing entities. Hence, we can continue breaking them down into multiple components. In summary, as long as a part of the body can be further divided, we can use wisdom to dissect it down to the tiniest particles. Mentally dissect each part down to the level of atoms. If you were to magnify and observe our body with a microscope, you would eventually find only atoms. So, is there anything worth clinging to? You could travel back and forth within the atoms, which might be interesting. You might think you've entered another world, but it is just in the human body. If you enter an atom, you will discover it is mostly empty space, like a spacious plaza. Compared to atoms, the atomic nucleus is very tiny. If an atom is like a large building, then the atomic nucleus is like a grain of rice. Most of the atom consists of empty space where electrons are moving. Electrons move in this vast space, happily spinning like ice skaters. This is the landscape of atoms. The human body is composed of these substances. If you mentally dissect the body into tiny particles and see such a picture, is there anything worth clinging to? This is the reality of the human body. However, this method may not eliminate our attachment. The most effective way to counteract romantic attachment is to meditate on impurity. Observe the mouth of the person you admire. The saliva that flows from their mouth is foul. Observe their nose. There are boogers and nose hairs inside it. If you look inside, you won't cling to them. Dust accumulates on the nose hairs. Visualize them having a runny nose, and that mucus is a kind of pus. Observe that there is eye discharge at their eye corners, boogers in their nose, and foul fluids in their mouth. When you wake up in the morning, you can use your hand to fan inside your mouth a couple of times and take a sniff. You will discover that the oral cavity is like a cesspit. After a long sleep, no one's mouth smells pleasant because bacteria multiply quickly inside. Just 1 or 2 hours of keeping your mouth closed allows bacteria to reproduce rapidly. With billions of bacteria excreting waste, the mouth inevitably becomes smelly. When meditating on impurity, practice in this way. Simply looking at atoms is ineffective. You might even find them round and cute. The people we admire can easily trigger our attachment. We may find their eyes charming, with a beautiful shape and 2 layers of skin, known as double eyelids. However, if you were to open their eye socket and observe carefully, you would see it is composed of red blood vessels. Moreover, there are eye mucus and tear glands that protrude at the corners. None of these are adorable. Someone said, "I love Ananda's mouth." In reality, that's not lovable at all. The mouth is very foul because it connects to the digestive canal. How could it not stink